Okay. Hello, Yasawan. How's it going today?
It is going great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It was a pretty good day today. What do we have on today?
I believe it is round two for Frostbite.
What teams do we have on?
We've got the Auckland Avalanche and Jakarta Thunder facing off in today's matchup.
Mm. So, well, what do you think about these teams right now, honestly?
Well, I've done a bit of analysis on their previous sets. The Jakarta Thunder unfortunately didn't get a lot of opportunities to show off their strengths in their last set. So I'm keen to see what they have this week. If they've been
Mm.
practicing as well, if they've developed new strategies.
Yeah.
The Auckland Avalanche, they've got some very precise strategies that I'm going to be pointing out throughout today's matches because I'd be very surprised if they didn't continue to use them to great
Yeah, I'm,
success.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, this week we have a rule change, very big rule change actually.
We
Sizzle season
do.
weapons. Yeah, we do. Sizzle season weapons have been added to to the game, and we've allowed them in the league. You think we're gonna be seeing any of these weapons come out?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of new options available for our players here, but whether they're viable for competition, especially without a lot of practice, is something I'm a little
Yeah.
wary of. I mean, there will be some players that are very happy to have an alternative to their weapon now.
Yeah.
So it could lead to some interesting dynamic changes. But I think with the meta the way it is at the moment, we're going to see quite a few weapons be viable at the very least. We're going to see sloshes, splatlings, going to see a lot of shooters, obviously. I think there's going to be quite a bit of variance in what the players are running.
What do we is there any specific weapon you want to see coming out? Any specific weapon you're rooting for?
Oh, that's a toughie. um, Look, I want to see a super chump tonight. I don't know if we will,
Oh,
but there's just a couple like good chump weapons. I'm like maybe they'll come up. Who knows? There's always a
if
chance.
if anyone from Auckland or Jakarta are watching right now, you know what to do.
Exactly. And speaking of our teams, should we have a look at the rosters for those who are unfamiliar?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Uh, Now I don't actually have the stream up. I don't know which team we're looking at right now. I think we're looking at Auckland,
We
probably,
we
right?
are we are looking at Auckland. So,
Lovely.
no, we're looking at Jakarta. So coming
Okay,
out from
good.
Jakarta this time,
Yeah.
we have Lobster, Amy Saika, Will, T, Goy, and Jack. And then from Auckland, we have Rainsfield, Crowboy, Fosh, Curb, and Oak, and Toby, right?
Yeah, don't
So
forget Toby. My goodness,
don't
Toby
forget
is a
Toby. Yeah.
key part
Yeah.
of the Auckland Avalanche stratagem. They are going to be repping tonight for sure. Yeah, we'll talk a bit about Jakarta Thunder's lineup. We have quite a few players here who specialize in certain weapon types. Obviously, we have Ami, who loves their short range shooters, juniors, and NZAP. They play the turf for the team. We've got Will, who is a big slosher fan, and T, who is a long range specialist. They like to rep the E leader, but they also have some other long range weapons in their back pocket.
Yeah, it feels like this team's kind of they're kind of well rounded. They have Lobster, which
Mm,
is they are who is their their support player, I guess, their midline support player, which is really important.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And we haven't
and
seen them play with this team yet, so
yeah,
that will
they're
be interesting.
well. Moving on to Auckland, actually. So we mentioned about Toby. Toby is a Dynamo player,
Hmm.
and we've
Or as
seen
I
him
like to
previous.
say, a Dynam oh no player, because when they get
Yeah.
under your snipe, you are not going to be able to move into your aggressive positions. It is a very effective crowd control method, and they play it flawlessly.
Yeah, for sure. So, coming out from Auckland, we also have Rainsfield, who is the Splatling player and definitely an anchor for the team. And we have Curb as well, with their kind of skirmisher playstyle. So, this team's a force to be reckoned with. They got a lot of options. And they got a lot of
Absolutely.
ways to
They were
kill
able to
these fools.
take a 4-2 victory against Singapore Glaciers last week, and that was definitely because of their very stable playstyle. We'll see it a lot, but basically their entry strategy is always pincering. We'll see a lot of like 2v1s being set up. And then once
Yeah.
they get in, they sit in the nastiest, most difficult spots to get rid of. And just hold on for as long as they can. I'm
Yeah.
gonna call it pincer and thorns. We'll see if that happens
Sincere and
a lot
Thorns.
tonight.
All right.
One thing I will say though, and if Jakarta Thunder have done their research, Auckland Avalanche did not win a game of Rainmaker in their last set. That was what they lost 2 on. Now, whether that's Singapore's confident mode and that's why that happened, or if it's a bit of a weak point, that could be something Jakarta Thunder might be looking to capitalize on.
Yeah. So we can, getting into this game here, right? The first kind of map mode we have is we have ink blot tower control. What are we thinking about this map and what in this mode?
Well, it's a bit hard to get a read. Jakarta Thunder haven't played Tower Control in the series yet, so I don't have any existing data on them as a team. But as individual players, I think they kind of speak for themselves. Will is going to be representing in this match. Sloshes are very powerful on Tower Control Inkblot because there are so many fun angles to play at. And Goy is such a harassment machine when it comes to their sloshing machine plays. So I think they have good opportunities to win 1v1 fights. It's going to come down to whether, as a team, they can coordinate that strategy and deal with Auckland's very aggressive front line.
Yeah, so this kind of this map and this mode, the first checkpoint, kind of a choke.
It's kind of free.
It's really it's kind of difficult to push up past kind of that first one. And I definitely think that whichever team kind of breaks through first is really gonna just start, be the one to ball on this game.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, that once you've cleared that first checkpoint, it's very hard to move up the ramp and get those additional points. Even clearing that first checkpoint can be tough. So the team that does it first is going to be in a very strong position. They can afford to just play defensively and not having to worry about your offense, not having to worry about how you're going to flank and take down a defensive line can leave a lot of brain real estate for just keeping a solid defense, keeping solid communication, and keeping the enemy away.
Yeah, and well, with that said, let's get into the game,
Yeah, it's gameplay time. We are going to jump right into it. Round 1, Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control. What are our teams bringing?
We do see a 96 gal coming out from Jakarta, and we do see a paintbrush, one of the new weapons.
Ooh, paintbrush. Okay, that is interesting. It's very heavyweight as far as brushes go, and has a long startup time, but once it gets swinging, it is a lot of damage. Something our players will need to be reticent of.
So, starting off here, we see a couple fights taken up in mid here. We do see Goy immediately getting into a fight with Curb, and in general, they're just kind of contesting for mid, and it seems like Auckland actually has this has control.
Yeah, at the moment they are definitely holding strong. They've pushed up quite far forward and are on the tower. I think this first checkpoint's theirs. The rest of the Jakarta Thunder are stuck in spawn right now.
Don't count them out. We see that the T-Tag actually has tri-strike, so they can actually stop the push with that if they're smart enough.
One thing I have seen is Jakarta Thunder are very good at coordinating tri-strikes to wipe out a lot of area at once. So they're probably going to try to get multiple of those going before they unleash it. No, they've gone for the desperation play. I don't blame them. Let's see if they can capitalize.
We see, all of Auckland Avalanche is kind of collapsing onto their platform, making it really difficult for Jakarta to come back in here, right? Curve is already kind of taking fights, making it, making the process of trying to break in so much longer. And it seems like Auckland's push is still sustained. They're still going. Curve's kind of jumped back in, got a pick already, got 2 picks actually.
Ooh, spicy.
It seems like this push is kind of going.
I gotta say, this Splatana Paintbrush combo is working very well. Curb being able to make those initial hits and then dodge out of the way while Toby follows up. is quite impressive. Oh, and was that a yeet splat as well? My
Oh,
goodness, we are getting some
yeah, we see
spicy
here
splats.
Jakarta's really struggling to get out here. They can't make a play in time, and yeah, that's the. Oh, they're not. Okay, that's the first game going to Auckland.
Yeah, Auckland, as I mentioned, they get forward using those pincers, and then once they're in, they hold their ground. We didn't see them lose the control of tower that entire game. They just played around the ramp, played around the movement, and every time someone on Jakarta tried to jump down onto plat, they were quickly wiped out.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult to deal with that strategy, but given we have other maps on play here, some that might favor that kind of playstyle less, there's a chance for there is a chance for Jakarta to take it back for sure.
All right, so let me just see. Let me just check for counter picks and
Yeah, so on the week 2 map list, we have Splat Zone's Hagglefish, Splat Zone's Museum. I think we'll definitely see at least one of those over the course of this set. Two more Tau. I mean, we've got 2 more of each. We've got Tau Control, Eeltail, and Mako. We've got Rainmaker on Sturgeon and Manta, and we've got Clams on Scorch and Hammerhead.
so yeah. What do you think Jakarta might pick here? Actually,
Well, if they've done their homework, they should at least try a Rainmaker map, just in case. They did pick Clams last week as their first go-to,
Yeah.
which makes me think they might have been practicing Clams more than others as well. Obviously, Clams can be a very unstable mode, very scary for some of our players. So Clams Hammerhead could potentially come into play.
I feel like we might potentially see a museum
Yes.
zones come out as well here. You know, we actually do have T playing in this game, and these zones is kind of their playground. You know, they can kind of sit on plat, just make sure that Auckland can't even get into zone. So that might be a potential pick here.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, T being able to control those long sight lines that are present on Museum can be quite effective at just constant pressure. That being said, I'm just looking at Auckland's lineup. I'm just trying to think if they have. I mean, if Toby gets under snipe, T is
Yeah.
done. T just
Yeah,
gets
for
absolutely
sure,
cooked.
for sure.
So like it's not just enough for T to be able to control those lines. We're also going to need the other members of Auckland to be patrolling drop just so T can stay safe and do their job.
Yeah. So, you know, there's quite a lot of different picks that they could actually go for here. You know, it really depends on how comfortable they feel with this, you know, in these map modes, right?
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, fighting Auckland's gonna be really difficult for them. They're gonna really need to be able to identify what works and what doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
And it's also important to know they're gonna have to claw back a break point here from Auckland, because like, you know, Auckland taking the first game, that just means that Jakarta now has to win one of Auckland's counter picks as well,
Exactly.
and even you know, take the rest of their own counter picks.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Auckland's lineup again. I was gonna say it might be good for Jakarta to pick Tau Control Eeltail because they definitely have a range advantage more often than not. But we do have Rhinesfield on the pitch today, and Rhinesfield is a heavy damage specialist. They run Splatlings and anything that does a lot of damage very quickly. So that could easily shut down any kind of sniping that Tay might be setting up on that. There's not a guaranteed option here. There's nothing that is like a surefire hit. I think it's going to come down to what Jakarta have been practicing over the last week and what they're vibing in the moment.
Oh, it seems okay. It seems that they have picked TC Eeltail. What are you thinking about this pick?
All right.
Yes.
Well, I was thinking about this because a range advantage is very important on TC Eeltail. Obviously, there's very few options for flanking on TC Eeltail because it's a very narrow map. So if you're able to have more reach than your opponent, generally you're going to win those fights. So it makes sense from a composition perspective based on what we know that Jakarta like to run. And I think they might have a good chance at bullying tower here. I reckon their defense is going to be very strong. Their playstyle is generally slow and steady. They like to get control of an area, move into that area, get control of the next area. They don't like to rush. They don't like to make risky plays. So we'll see if they can keep that safety lid on and really... Yeah.
Seems like the team's having a little bit of an audio issue. Might have to wait a little bit here for the match to start. But regardless, I think TC Eeltail is a really interesting map because yeah, as you said, it's a hallway map. So Jakarta's really got to be front fighting. They gotta put all their resources, not put all their resources, but they gotta focus a lot on trying to get pushes going, like literally brute forcing pushes. And I think that can be done, especially with the Kraken that Jakarta Thunder might be running. We saw that 96 the last game, and you know, this 96 can push in. Kraken is a really good entry tool, and it can allow Goy, the poker, to kind of just you know, it can go. Goy can go. It can go. Yeah, Goy can kind of just go in.
There's not a lot of places to run and hide from a Kraken on this map, so it can definitely do some damage.
You know, especially with the removal of that ramp, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Okay, we do have Oak in here. They basically play anything with Crab on it, so I'm not surprised to see Auckland bringing that out here. Crab is very effective on Eeltail Alley. So that's going to be a hard thing for Jakarta Thunder to handle. We do have a few good flanking weapons on their side. They're just going to have to pick their moments.
You reckon we'll see an E leader coming out here from T?
Probably. They were running the Z and F charger in the last game, which I don't have enough competitive experience with to really judge it. But I mean, if they can land the shots, a charger's a charger. It gets the splats. The kit is definitely a supplementary aspect.
I do think here we might actually be seeing, you know, we might be seeing Crab coming out from both of these teams. You know, it's a hallway map, having
100%.
Just one Crab on the field, even placing a Crab, you know, on the enemy team's bridge that can kind of just shut down their whole push. Not even push. That can really prolong your own push. And if you get one set up before the other team starts to push, or you know, when they start to come back, that's just a snap. It's gone, baby.
Yeah. All right. Chat seems certain we're gonna see an E leader here. Let's see if they're right. I mean, they probably right.
You're probably right.
There it is. All right.
Chad gets a point. Let's go.
Chad gets a point. No one is surprised.
We do see a Dynamo coming out here as well.
Yeah, I do like that the ballpoint splatling is also beginning a lot more popular lately as well. Rhinesfield running that one, obviously. They are a big splatling fan.
Yeah, and we see the initial fight for mid, and we already see one from Auckland going down. But whether anyone from Jakarta going, two from Auckland coming down here, this could be the start of a really early push for Jakarta.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some good splats coming across the board. Will and Lobster pushing up nice and slow. No one's overextending here. They're ready for the melee combo from Curb. And they do shut it down.
That is flank, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, you can't flank lightly on this map. And the slow and steady strategy of Jakarta is working well in this case.
Yeah, we see those tri-strikes coming out trying to temporarily stop the push, but it doesn't seem like that's going to have much efficacy. You see that Inkjet from Rhinesfield also getting cancelled. And in general, yeah, it seems like Jakarta is really on their way for a really good push here. T gets a snipe, and yeah, on their way clearing the final checkpoint.
This is going to be a steamroll,
and that is an immediate KO coming out from Jakarta. That's it. The score now is 1-1.
Jakarta on the scoreboard for the season. They are feeling great right now.
Yeah, maybe they were just caught out on that first game, just the warm-up game. You know, they were given, and we do see a fist bump coming out too.
Fist bump!
Let's go!
Oh, now we know this is a hype set. We got the fist bump.
We know it's about to happen. That's the first fist bump of Frostbite. I believe. I do believe.
No, it's the second one that I've seen.
Shit.
Oh, sorry. It's the first one this week. Definitely the first one this week.
Definitely. Well, first one.
All right.
That's
Well, that just goes to show I didn't have any tower control data on Jakarta Thunder. Turns out their data is very good.
well, we got no subs for this set. It seems like we're gonna get going soon. So, it seems like Auckland has counterpicked Rainmaker Sturgeon. What do we cooking on this
Really?
map? Yeah.
Oh, I was absolutely expecting Splat Zone's Museum. Rainmaker Sturgeon. I mean, we all know this map. It's been a classic in Splatoon 2 for a very long time. And it's one of the maps, Rainmaker maps, with the most paths to go down. There's a lot of ways you can redirect, divert, trick, take shortcuts. And it's a powerful Rainmaker map. It really puts your team to the test on their awareness and their defensive capabilities. Which is why I always run Toxic Mist here, but I mean, it's a bit of a misnomer.
I just like to point out, coming out from chat, Van Noah, I blinked and the game ended, lol.
Yeah,
Actually true. That
100%.
That was so fast. You know, you couldn't. Jakarta Thunder struck the final thing as soon as a thunder strike, man. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, if we can see more of that dominant play, like I think the key there is that everyone was very measured. No one overextended so that they were able to catch the flank out. If they didn't catch that flank out, that could have ruined all their momentum. No one pushed forward too far. Tay had a great amount of control from the tower itself, and everyone else was perfectly within their line of protection.
Yeah, for sure. So coming out from this game, I think one potential strategy that actually might come out here is that we may see teams kind of juking out the other team. You know, they go to the checkpoint on the top left, I believe. Yeah. You know, the one that's separated by the spinner. And, you know, if the other team happens to pull up there, they're like, nope, psych, I'm going to the court one. And they go to the one on the right.
Yeah.
I definitely do feel that might be a strategy that we may see come out. And yeah, I'd be interested to see how Jakarta Thunder kind of adapts to Rainmaker as well. As they have a leader player, which, you know, leader on Rainmaker is a little bit questionable. So,
yeah, we might even see a closer range charger on this.
Yeah.
Like, the E-leader has a lot of good sightlines on Sturgeon, but the mobility is a problem for Rainmaker, so yeah, maybe we'll see a change up there. Something I'm really keen for is that, yeah, as we mentioned, there's probably going to be a lot of juking and trying to go one way, then squid rolling another. I really want to see some good Rainmaker plays here, because the Rainmaker can do so much on this map. There are so many pockets that you can land an explosive shot in to just absolutely break your opponent's momentum or splat them. So I'm very keen to see that in practice.
Oh, yeah, we're in the sky now, getting into the game. Well, let's see what Jakarta Thunder pulls out. We see Jakarta Thunder opting for a non-backline comp, and Auckland still remaining with their ballpoint.
Yep, I do have it in my notes here that Tay, under pressure, can play a shooter fairly well. So it's nothing too shocking to see that coming out.
You see Jakarta Thunder getting the first pop, but we do see, you know, Curb getting set up for this kind of flank here, nearly catching Goy off surprise, but, you know, instead gets caught out by got caught in surprise. We do see Tree Down coming down from Jakarta, and we go a full wipe out coming from Jakarta, and that's a first push already for Auckland.
The Avalanche is rolling in, and the checkpoint is cleared. Oak ready and in position. They're probably pretty close to special now as well, so they're going to be able to follow that up with a crab tank. Lob trying to pressure the Rainmaker shield, but taken out by an Inkjet. Curb getting really aggressive here. They're going to try and cut out any sort of defense. But as I mentioned before, this Ink Strike play from Jakarta Thunder, they spaced those out so that the Rainmaker could not be touched. An excellent defense from the Jakarta Thunder. Well, they say lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, but their Ink Strikes do, that's for sure.
It seems like it'll be really difficult for Jakarta Thunder to kind of get back in here, especially without their specials. And we do see, you know, Auckland is already kind of setting up for another push here. We see a 3v3 coming out, and well, yeah, it's gonna be a bit difficult. That Rainmaker kind of position on the snipe, just make sure that no one's able to get close. And yeah, Auckland's now trying to take the opportunity to push up. Getting stopped by T, and could this be the stop of the push? We get 2 down, 3 down.
That's triple.
And Rainsfield's forced to back out into mid.
Luckily, they do have an escape path ready for them, and as a ball point, they're going to be able to lay down some pressure and slow down the incoming advance. But very well
Curve is
handled.
flanking around though.
Yeah,
Curve is
Jakarta
flanking around.
really
This
in
could
a good
be
position.
an early stop to Jakarta's push if not caught out on time, but does get caught.
I gotta know.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, I gotta know if Curve is running a lot of respawn quick respawn, because they are diving into the opponent's lines here, and not getting too much value out of it at the moment.
yeah, it's really it really comes down to a matter of if Curve can capitalize on their pushes, on their dives even. Toby making a futile attempt to try and stop the push and actually gets it. No.
Yeah,
But,
that was so close. It is
Jakarta
still going to
Thunder
hit
is
the
still able to
checkpoint,
secure the checkpoint.
but it's definitely going to stop their ability to take lead because they are going to have to make some risky jumps to get
But
this
if
one
they get
further
the
across
pop
the
here,
line.
this could be a really. And we see a
Kraken in
Kraken coming out
position.
here. But
Curve's
Curve
just gonna take it
steals the
away.
Rainmaker.
Oh my goodness, Curve with the clutch grab. That's going to buy them
Curve
some
with the
time.
clutch grab. It seems like Jakarta Thunder cannot get this pop here, and they're gonna be forced to back out again. Will trying to make a play, but gets caught out lagging. Oh.
Oh, that was some very careful, risky plays from Auckland there. Just taking the Rainmaker for a little bit of a spin and just trying to keep it as alive as possible. They've managed to do a good job. They are in control now. We have 1:40 left on the clock. It is a razor-thin
3v3
score
too.
margin.
Yeah, any team can take this at the moment. With both teams kind of broken through this checkpoint, and with the game in the neutral right now, it really is either team's game here.
100%. Toby getting pressured by, again, these ink strikes, something that Jakarta Thunder are almost becoming known for at this point.
Yeah, two down from Jakarta Thunder though. This could be the start of Auckland's push, but gets stopped by
Oh, they try for cut, and it was a clever play, but there was a player in place ready to stop them. Lob still there. The bridge going up now as well is going to cut that off as an option entirely. No, they've made the jump!
They're gambling for it, and they get a 38. Unless Jakarta Thunder here is able to get another push set up, and it seems like they might be able to with 3 coming down from Auckland. It really seems really difficult for Jakarta
Yeah,
Thunder
I
to
don't
win
think
this.
they're extending that lead. That is the entirety of Jakarta in position. Oh, and some caught out jumps from
And
those
some-
ink
yeah.
strikes. Yeah, that's going to reset.
Jakarta Thunder here picks up, relatively quickly. They can get another push going. It seems like their ability to capitalize sort of on their picks will be good, but apparently it seems like they're just letting it reset.
Yeah, they need the picks first. With this little time left, they need to get a wipeout,
Yeah.
essentially.
But 2
we
down
have-
though.
Yeah, it's not a good
2
position. We've
down.
got the
This-
crab
this
tank in
doesn't
mid.
seem like it's possible.
It's going to be tough. The pop is going very blue. Wait, it might not be blue. I realize
It
color
is
locks
blue.
on.
It is blue.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent. Goi trying to make some last minute plays here with some dually rolls. They can't quite back it down.
And
Inkjet's
2 going
gonna
down,
cause
3
them-
going down from Jakarta. It seems like this is another game for Auckland.
It was a clutch stop there from Rhinesfield, who was able to pop the Inkjet at just the right time to stop any kind of aggression coming out from Jakarta. Jakarta had the good stops, but we had that one sneaky little play coming out from Auckland, and that was all they needed.
Yeah, especially when the scoreline is that close, all you really need is just a really small play to kind of secure that win.
Absolutely. All right, well, that is now 2-1 in favor of the Auckland Avalanche. They've managed to win a Rainmaker match, so that is no longer a statistic I have to worry about. I guess now we need to think about what Jakarta Thunder's next counter pick is going to be. They've clearly burnt their strongest one. So what is next up for them?
What do you think we might see here before they tell us their pick?
I reckon it's got to be TC Maker.
You reckon? Okay.
It's a harder map to snowball, but it does have a lot of open lines, and I think that it's tricky, right? Because it's not a narrow map. There's a lot of flanking opportunities.
It would benefit T from playing this map. They can kind of reach the stacks.
We can't put all the pressure on T, right?
Yeah,
we've
we've
got
got all
to.
the pressure. That's true.
It's a whole team that's working together here to make this happen. Are they gonna pick clams? I'm really nervous they're gonna pick
We
clams.
did see Goy typing, and they pull out SZ Hagglefish.
Okay. FC Hagglefish, that is an interesting pick.
So yeah,
Do we
you know,
have any
I'm thinking
substitutions this round?
no subs this round either. It
Okay.
does seem like does seem like what am I about to say? It does seem like both teams are pretty content with their roster right now.
Hmm.
As I like to say, this map, Hagglefish, right? It's just kind of mincemeat of Riz, man. I keep saying this. It really is mincemeat of Riz. Everyone is like, wow, Hagglefish is so good. No, it's not. It's just mincemeat with Riz.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's Starfish 2.0.
It's mincemeat. Starfish is mincemeat with Riz.
I really like Hagglefish because it does have a lot of very good defensive options for players that are struggling to get back in, right? They've got a lot of high ground to work with. They've got a very wide approach option. So there are a good number of opportunities for comebacks in this map, which I really appreciate. That being said, mid is very open to the front and close to the side.
Mid is really prone if you're running like an E leader, or if you're running double crab at all, running through mid, running through like the flanks. It's really difficult. You're just running a straight shot into the enemy, and I think we might actually see potentially some crabs coming out for this map.
I definitely expect a crab
Yeah.
for sure. I would like to see Jakarta use their ink strikes as a smoke screen for mid, because with 2 well-timed ink strikes, you can block that off with 1 throw each, and then your opponent has no visual. At that point, you can go for your flanks, you can go down the guts, you can make any kind of call, and your opponent is going to have to guess what you're going to do to set up a good defense.
Yeah, that's true. You can set up a smoke screen in mid with those tri-strikes, and it could be good for entry. Yeah.
All right. Well, we don't have to wait long to see what our players are planning. Looking at our weapons, nothing too surprising on one side.
No crabs coming out though. We do see a leader coming out from the side of Jakarta. That's not a crab.
It's not a crab, but it's a splash,
Yeah. So yeah, we see T coming out here and actually trying to get into mid here, which could be a good play instead of sitting on 10. We see Curb trying to go for a flank immediately, but is forced to back off due to Goy's kind of defense here. Curb trying to again though.
Curb.
Goy.
I'd really like to see Curb play a bit more careful because Goy is ready for them. And they are not getting the flanks they want.
About to cook, and yeah, we see Booyah Bomb coming out just to kind of get that ballpoint out, and Curb coming in again with a really sneaky flank.
Yeah, but honestly, it is going to do them work if the frontliners have to be looking to their sides, because it's going to allow the frontal offensive of Auckland to be more effective. That being said, Jakarta doing a pretty good job right now of keeping a hold. They've finally let Curb in, and it's gone to pieces, but they've got enough points that they can take their time here.
Yeah, a 56 push is not really anything to scoff at. So, we see T here kind of already getting set up, trying to make sure that they don't push up that ramp, right? That ramp is really important. If it's kind of the only entry into your base, especially on this map. And if they get up on the ramp, it's kind of Jover for you. We see Auckland kind of taking the lead here. Jakarta taking a little bit too long to try and take action. And, nobody down from Auckland here.
I was really hoping to see that Kraken get a bit of use from Lub, but unfortunately we don't see any forward momentum from Jakarta here. They're running quite low on time.
With 20 seconds left on the board, T popping a Wavebreaker and trying to get some picks. We do see the Kraken coming out and see another Booyah Bomb. This could be a taking of a zone here.
Oh, it's not enough.
But will it be enough? And it's not. And that's another game for Auckland.
Yeah, we saw Jakarta that they were able to push the back in the way they wanted to, right? We saw the Kraken at the front. We saw the Charger at the back. They were getting the pressure they needed, but they didn't get a single pick. And that's just because Auckland were moving in exactly the way they needed to stay alive. They conceded control exactly as much as they needed to and not a meter more. And then they immediately crushed back down as soon as they could. All right, well, that is Auckland now with a 3-1. That puts them on set point, I believe.
Yeah, it's currently 3-1 in the favor of Auckland. And so from what we're seeing, it could be a really difficult battle for Jakarta to come back here. They have to claw back, what's this? Two, I believe, breakpoints. They have to claw back 2 breakpoints here.
Yeah.
Plus their own counter pick
Mm-hmm.
in order to win this one. So it's really shaping up to be tough. And
Oh, 100%. And there's
100%,
no
yeah.
doubts they've already spent their most confident map, so it's going to
Yeah,
be
who knows?
risky.
Who knows? What if they were just burning the maps? They wanted to give Auckland
Oh
that false
yeah,
sense of confidence until they
yeah,
crush
setting
it
up for
under their
that
hands.
reverse
Yeah.
comeback.
The reverse sweep, yeah.
All right, well there is a chance for that.
There is a
I definitely
chance.
want to talk about the dynamic between these two teams right now because going into it, I knew that Jakarta Thunder like to play things slow and steady. They don't like taking risks. They don't like putting themselves in situations they don't need to. And against Auckland's strategy, it's actually kind of effective. They don't fall for the traps that Auckland set because Auckland are very good at setting traps in the opponent's turf. So that's been good for them. Unfortunately, the problem is that they've not been able to get the picks when they spring those traps. So I don't know if we need some different movement patterns from Jakarta to see something happen. Like when they've got the ball rolling in their favor, it just rolls. They need some
From what
kind
we
of
see,
yeah.
getting that ball rolling in the first place is kind of really extremely difficult for them.
There's actually a fight for the jukebox happening in the lobby right now, which I find particularly amusing. Do we have a pick yet?
No. So what
Taking
picks
their
do you think
time.
with what they have remaining? They could potentially opt to go for Mako Mart TC as you have mentioned. As that kind of opens up kind of some time for them for the slower play style of theirs, right? But
Exactly.
we also do see this kind of another. We also kind of do see Museum di Alfonsino here, right? And this map is kind of interesting because with how Jakarta's members are laid out, they have T, which can kind of just secure the entirety of mid, provided no one's camping her, right? And we have Goy, who can actually flank down Riot, right? He can drop Riot and kind of just cause problems for the other team. But that being said, we also have Curb on Auckland, who can also do the same thing. So, picking Museum could be a really not questionable pick.
It's the play I would expect, but
It's the play we expect, but it's not the optimal play.
yeah, and by no means guaranteed.
Yeah.
I would like to see Zones a museum. I think that would be a entertaining match. But there's a part of me in the back of my mind that is like, is it gonna be Clams game?
Clams game, and I think we might see a Clams coming out. Scorch Gorge, Clams, kind of one of the best modes, and it could map modes, and it could play to the favor of Jakarta. They have that Kraken, which is able to push through that ramp kind of area, which is a choke. It goes to the basket. Having a Kraken, especially on Scorch TC, could Scorch CV, Scorch Clams, could very much help Jakarta here in getting their pushes off. So that's another option for them. And even with Hammerhead Clams, you have the same thing where you have to push through this one choke point on a ramp. And the Kraken is just really good at doing that, which is why I think, either of these Clams map might be doable.
Yeah,
We do
that
see
is
Clam Scorch coming out. They do
okay.
counter-
There we go. I did think that because these Clams maps do have that choke point, and we saw such a strong play from them when we did Eeltail Alley. It seems like if they don't have to worry about their opponent from other angles, they might be able to focus on their frontline offensive, and maybe that's what they need right now. But that being said,
though,
Clans, what kind of weapons are we going to see for this?
Especially on Scorch Gorge, there are multiple entry routes which can be taken from your own base here. You can choose to drop Riot in addition to just kind of push in left and just have a bit of a longer flank around, but it'll still be really difficult for them.
Yeah. We're seeing a ball point from chat, and that's probably going to happen. I'm most curious as to what Curb is going to run, because this is a map that absolutely incentivizes you to be zoomy. and we've seen Curb be quite zoomy over the course of this set. So
I think we will see a Tetra coming out on this map. Because
Tetra.
Scorch,
Yes.
Scorch CB, right? You need to remain mobile. You want to be able to get around that central pillar, the central thing. I don't know what to call it. Right? It's a pillar. Okay,
Yeah.
right. But anyway, yeah, it's really important to be able to go fast and around. You can flank from the grates as well as a Tetra. Which, although Viper can also achieve that, Tetra's increased kill time may allow it to kind of just get in a lot easier, right?
Yeah, I could definitely see Goi running Tetras for this one.
Yeah,
it's something they feel pretty confident with.
One of the main problems with Viper is that, its kill time's pretty slow. So,
yeah.
Which is why I think Tetra might actually be preferred here. Or, if any of the teams are feeling confident enough, we might even see a double Viper Tetra come out.
We saw the Viper Paintbrush combo come out earlier, and that was very effective because the Viper didn't need to secure the splat, it just needed to distract long enough for the Paintbrush to get its first swing in. Because once it's swinging, it puts out damage like crazy.
Well, getting into the game here, we will be seeing light Tetras coming out from Goi, one of the new weapons.
Ooh,
and we will be seeing dark Tetras coming out from Curve. This is the battle of new and old here.
And we also have that Paintbrush wrapping on Auckland. Very keen to see that in action.
So yeah, we actually note that T has been subbed out here in favor of Jack. And yeah, this could be really good for them. Jack and Will are two really high div players as well.
Yeah, and players with a lot of experience with each other as well. Early Zuka coming out, but doesn't find any picks. Jakarta are spending all their specials.
To kind of scatter the team, and they do get Toby, but it's 2 down from Jakarta. And actually a wipeout coming up from Jakarta right now.
It was a little scary. We saw Jakarta's specials come out, and no picks, and I'm like, this is a problem. If you're going to be busting out your specials not for a push, you need picks.
Yeah, for sure. We do see Jakarta here using Auckland here using their specials to kind of get in and be an annoyance. 2 down, coming down from Auckland though. 3 down actually, and it just leaves Oak kind of running back into mid.
Yeah, unfortunately they did a good job skirmishing there, but they didn't have anyone running clams. And I'm going to put that down to the fact that they were just so deep in base. So like maybe they're just going for a lockout strategy that is valid in Clan Blitz, especially when you have a goal that is as locked off as this one. And as we can see, Auckland getting plenty of splats to make that worthwhile. Will is going to have to work their butt off.
Yeah, he has strikes though. This could allow, he can kind of just stop the push here if Auckland's getting one going. Will can kind of just pop strikes and just send it on that checkpoint. And we do see Curve also coming down from the grates though, pulling all of their attention away and kind of allowing Toby to push up just a little bit.
Yeah, just to be in that sharking position, right? They don't know Toby's there now.
He's staying kind of silent there. And he actually gets Boy, but trades, which is still really valuable,
Will was very good to be cautious there. If they'd stepped a bit too far forward, that would have been a 2-for-1 trade, and we would have been seeing some score on the board for Auckland. As it stands, Jakarta actually in a strong position here.
And we do see Lobster having his Kraken out. This could be the start of their push, All Jakarta needs to do is get clams to stay alive.
Boy lost their Tetras duel, and they had 7 clams. Will is the only one with a power clam now. They're going to have to dump it. That is such a shame. We are halfway through our game. We have a lot of clams ready to go for Jakarta. They just need to find a way under the basket.
Herb once again trying to push that area, and we do see Goi kind of zipping in, get the pick, and
we love to see it.
General annoyance right now. Gets 2
That's
picks,
actually a double.
3 down, and we might be seeing a delayed wipeout. We do see a delayed wipeout. This could be the start of Jakarta's push. They do have the clams ready. They have 23 clams on the board right now, and that's definitely enough to secure them the lead.
3 power clams, amazing.
That is a 100-40 push. That's pretty impressive.
Jakarta are very
we might
lucky
actually
that
see them extend this push here as well. We see the strikes coming out, which are kind of just, they're the common year sentences of the push. And we get, Jakarta gets the final count of 25 in a single push. That's pretty good.
I mean, the key factor for that was that they had the map painted, so when Goi got that triple, I'd like to point out that's a Zipcaster triple. They were able to allow their entire team to get right under the basket with no delay. And they just stayed up for a while as well, which allowed them to get such a good extended score. They need to hold on here now, though. We've got the reslider coming in. That's going to take out Jack.
It does get a pick.
They have the power clamp under the basket and a few clamps to spare, but they're going to have to pick them all up.
It is 3 down currently, but it seems like Auckland may be able to get the lead here. They
They're
just need
one
2
clamp
more
shot.
clamps.
They have a power clamp jumping in. Can they get it in the basket? Yes, they do!
Yes, and that's 8. That's 3 down coming from Jakarta. It's a wipeout, actually.
Oh,
and
that's
this could be the end of the game. This might be the end of the set.
Toby's got
they're
the last
holding it
clamp.
off.
Oh, come on. What's with that?
Come on, man.
Did they miss?
No, I think they were PMing. They were PMing.
Oh, come on. We don't do that here. What is this?
Go into Auckland. That is
Yeah, I mean,
that
look.
was a pretty good set. That was a really good showing coming out from Auckland here. You know, you saw kind of that paintbrush and skirmisher combo coming out from Toby and Curb, and that really enabled kind of their whole team to play off of that. As you know, Curb kind of goes in and distracts, and then you have Toby cleaning up the kills with his paintbrush. And yeah, Jakarta was kind of like powerless to stop it. Even though they got that one good push off, they immediately got pushed back by Jakarta. Not Jakarta. They got immediately pushed back by Auckland.
Yeah.
And couldn't do anything about it. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? They gave everything into that push to get down to 25, and it was an incredible push. But because they were exhausted of resources and they pulled all that strategy into that one play, they just kind of didn't know where to go from there. Like, where do we hold the line here? And Auckland Avalanche pulled out those pincers and cut them down one by one. Yeah, I mean, it was a powerful play, but that is going to be the 4-1 to Auckland Avalanche. We got to see Jakarta come into their own in this set, and I was happy about that. They definitely got a lot more time to show off their skills in this set than they did in their previous one, so I'm very happy for them.
So, yes, Owen, would you like to, would you like to have a post-match interview with the winning team?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, let's go.
All right, who are we going to talk with?
We're gonna be talking with Auckland Avalanche, the winners. So let's hop in their VC, and we drag Mars along with us.
Oh, I can't see their VC.
I'll drag you in.
Thank you.
No, wait, I can't. Oh my god.
Oh, I don't have permissions. Oh no.
No. I can do it. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Mars is here now. All right. Well, how are you guys feeling about your win?
Pretty good.
I'm smiling. I'm
Before
having
we
a good
start,
time.
I think Toby owes everyone a public apology.
Public apology, please.
Sorry, I got too silly. Okay, I got too
The
silly.
court
I'm
longer
really
is
sorry.
coming.
I'd like
Yeah,
to
we'll let you
apologize
off with a
on
slap
behalf-
on the wrist this time, but like, come on, man, what are we doing?
I got too silly. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, we do want to talk about that phenomenal turnaround there on that Clan Blitz match. We had your opponent getting you down to 25. Imagine things got a bit nervous, but you were able to turn that around. How did that go?
Yeah, we all coordinated specials pretty well. We all painted up mid once we got the wipe on them. Then Charles had his inkjet ready. I had Wave Breaker for the Tetras. We're sitting top right. And Co went in with Reef Slider after I weakened a few of them. Then we eventually got the wipe, kept them out, scored all the clans in. Done exactly what we need to do.
So calculated. That's so calculated.
I'd just like to say, chat is calling for an Oak speech right now,
Not
immediately.
again!
Can we get an Oak speech coming out?
Not even chat. It's just one person. I hate
is just one
chat
person.
here.
That's chat. No, that's chat.
Sorry, you have to comply.
Oak speech. Oak
Oh
speech.
my
Oak
God.
speech.
We can leave the Oak speech until the end of the interview if you'd rather.
Sure, I'll just pull up ChatGPT.
Excellent. All right, prepare for us. I want to talk to you about your team strategy because I've watched both of your sets now, and I'm trying to coin this term for your team. I think that your team is very good at the pincers and thorns maneuver, where you like to take a lot of 2v1s early, and then you just sit in the nastiest spots and take out anyone who like runs past you. Does that feel accurate to your team strategy, or are you going for something else?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I feel it's
Yeah.
accurate. With a lot of our weapons, especially me and Curb,
Especially
pushes-
you. Especially you, I have in my notes.
Yeah, but Curb
Yeah.
pushes up. They kill Curb if he doesn't get the trade, and they run past, assuming he was the only one who's pushed up. But I'm shocking, and I
Ah.
often pick them off when they're pushing back into mid.
Very good.
I
Alright.
speed
Did
for
you guys-
Toby.
Did you guys kind of build your comp with the paintbrush and skirmisher kind of combo in mind? Like you just have Curb stall for Toby to get his first swing off. He balls.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Paintbrush is really a weapon where it can't defend. It only can capitalize if you're actually pushed up. So we really need that in order for it to work.
Yeah, I was very impressed with your ability to use the paintbrush effectively, considering how new it is. And your distraction play seemed to work perfectly for it most of the time.
Yeah,
was-
Toby had a
yeah,
lot
I
of
was
faith in
pretty-
us. We really owe it
I was
to him.
pretty surprised to see like the paintbrush coming out here with Tetris. I didn't think people would be comfortable enough to pull out the new weapons yet, but yeah, you know.
I
proven me
almost have
wrong.
5-star on it. I've been grinding.
Wow.
No, ain't no way.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I'm like three-quarters.
I'd just like to point out, paintbrush is dynamo if it were good.
It
What are your
was.
comments
It
on
is.
this?
It's correct. It's not good, but it's better than Dynamo. Like
It's
it plays-
better.
it plays
Paintbrush
the
is
same.
dynamo, but better. You heard it here first, folks.
I've got one more question for Rainsfield here.
Yes,
There were a couple moments on Sturgeon where your entire team went down, and it was just you, and you were able to pull back effectively, give cover fire, and you didn't go down, and you were able to turn the tables on Jakarta multiple times. I want to know what your mindset is in that moment, how you're able to like find those positions and like hold out in that amount of time, because it's very hard when your entire team's gone and you're a backline to hold off like that.
That's true. I think a lot of what I do now is mostly instinct, but it started off as thinking about what places I don't want them to be the most. Like, we really struggled when they got up onto our spinner and they were able to hold that space. So by getting up there myself and denying that space first and foremost, then it lets us have much more control. I think they're much more threatened by that than anything else that I do. That is
Amazing.
an anchor point for jumps as well. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your team very good at placing jumps. You don't need beacons. You're just doing very well.
not at
He
all.
is the beacon.
He's the living beacon.
Excellent. All right. Now I
Excellent,
believe
yeah.
we promised an oak speech.
We did promise Azu an oak speech.
I really hate you, Azu. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'd like to say that this has been great because it's introduced me to new Splash, and I can't believe I'm a meta slave for it now. But like, I've been having a blast with this, so I don't know why. But yeah, ChatGPT gave me a long ass speech, so I'm not gonna say it, except for may the Inklings rise, the Octolings thrive, and the spirit of Splatoon live on forever. Thank you all, and stay fresh.
I actually felt something there. That was great. All right. Well, with that, I think we're done for today. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is it.
All right.
More
Well,
matches tomorrow.
please
Get excited,
tune in
get
tomorrow.
hyped.
Yeah. We got two
Let's
more
do
Tune in
sets.
tomorrow. We do have 2 games on tomorrow.
Games tomorrow. Get hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for week 2 of Frostbite. We've got more on the way for you tomorrow, so be sure to tune back in. Until then, I've been Yeson. I've been joined by Coco and apparently also by all of Auckland Avalanche.
Yeah. It's been good.
Excellent. Stay fresh, everyone.
Stay chillin', guys.
Bye.
Nice dream.